Yeah, so we did up to 26, where Krishna is, this is the famous verse, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, Yome Bhaktya Prachati Tadaham Bhakti Uparitam Ashnami Prayat Atmanaha. Can I see first? Okay. Amit Prabhu, you're joining for the first time. So if you have any doubts, there are many fundamental principles that we have cleared in the past. But if you're not clear about something, please just let us know. We'll discuss it quickly. And
Sure, Prabhu. Thank you very much. I'm on phone today though, but I'll certainly ask.
Okay. Just a second. The 27th verse is similar to what Krishna is saying in this verse, but it's a twist to it. Okay, so let's just go through it. The twist, a bit of a twist. Yad kuroshi yad ashnashi yad juhoshi dadashi yad tapasyashi konteya tat kurushva mad arpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. So this is interesting. And it's in continuation of the earlier verse, which was saying, Krishna was saying, offer me leaf with love, a devotion, a leaf, a flower, fruit, or water, I'll accept it. Let me ask you all this. Are both these verses in bhakti? Is it bhakti yoga Krishna is speaking about? This one, and so this is okay. And then the second one we just read, that whatever you offer, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, give away, whatever, do it for me. Are these both in bhakti yoga? Are these both bhakti? Are they pure devotional service, both of them?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, anybody else have any thoughts?
27th is karma.
Is it pure karma? Is it just purely karma?
I wouldn't say purely karma.
Okay, so we'll call it Mishra Bhakti, right? Then it's karma Mishra Bhakti. So it's mixed with karma. Because in the earlier one, Krishna was very clearly saying, if you're saying out of love and devotion, you offer me. But here he's just broadening everything. Whatever you do in this world. Okay, fine. 26, you cannot do it. You cannot offer everything to me. There's no love and devotion yet. So whatever you do, just give it to me as an offering. Yeah, might be there's some devotion, love missing, but at least there will be some intention behind it. You're doing that action that will help you purify. So it's karma mishra bhakti, so right? Eating, eating, proper sattvic food, and but then offer it to me. So here, surrendering to Krishna is not prominent. What I like is prominent, right? Okay, I like to eat pizza. I'll offer Krishna pizza today. Why? It's not because Krishna wants it, because I like it, but I'm just making it Mishra Bhakti. So not exactly Shuddha Bhakti. We have a passion for many things when we come to Krishna consciousness. And we can offer that to Krishna. That's a very good point to start with if you're not in Bhakti yet, right? And Krishna is not using Bhakti here. The word Bhakti is not being used here. In the last verse, Krishna used Bhaktya. Bhaktya, he uses it twice. Bhaktya, with devotion. Bhakti Uparatam, offered in devotion. So here he's not talking about Bhakti. The word is missing here. So he's just slightly going towards a Mishra Bhakti. That's what he's doing. So here, Krishna, one more thing that is different from the last verse. Can anybody think of one more thing that's different in both of these verses? Krishna is saying, whatever you offer, do it as an offering to me. And in this one, Krishna is saying, where is that verse? If you offer me with love and devotion, I'll accept it. So any difference, another difference, you find a major glaring difference in both of them.
Yeah, Prabhuji, the difference is the love. Like when you offer with love and devotion, then it directly reaches him. If you just offer it to him, then you're just kind of doing mechanically,
Okay.
This verse is very confusing to me, like even when I read it earlier, because one says offer me patram pushpam toyam, right? Water, fruit, and that. But the other says whatever. And when you say whatever, like even people who are like doing sinful eating or whatever, you still offer to them. So this kind of, Krishna is not going to accept that, right? According to the first shloka. But according to second shloka, he's saying, no, please offer me. So what about sinful activities? That's what's confusing to me.
Yeah, good point. So what is the difference between both of them? Can you define the difference? I get your point. We'll discuss it. But do you think you find the difference between both of them?
No, Prabhu. That's something that always confused me about these two shlokas.
Okay. In the last verse, Krishna is saying, Patra pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prachiti tad aham bhakti upartham ashnami priyatat. So what he's saying, whatever you offer me love, a devotion, a leaf, a flower, fruit, or food, I will accept it. The difference is he's saying I will accept it. In the next verse, he's not saying I'll accept it. But then he's also not saying I'll reject it. But then he's not bluntly saying that I will accept it also. So even if we don't have pure devotion, Krishna will accept it. Right? But because it's not perfect, therefore we offer everything through a guru. Whenever we do our offering, prasadam offering, we always do it through guru. We don't directly go and offer it to Krishna. So here he's not clearly saying that I'll accept it. So that's a major difference between both the verses. And as Sandeep Prabhu is rightly pointing out, it could mean that people could offer everything to him, whatever they want. So that doesn't mean that he'll accept everything. So that's the major difference here.
Prabhu, can I ask a question? You said that when we offer through the guru. But I mean, is there a difference? Because at the temple they do offer all the deities prasadam.
But our Guru Parampara's pictures are also there, right, on the altar.
Okay.
And
yes.
whenever they do the offering, you can confirm it with some pujaris. They will always say their Guru's Pranam Mantra. They'll say Prabhupada's Pranam Mantra before they offer it.
Okay.
We always say that. Even when we do it at home, we should make this a habit. We should first offer, if you don't have you've not yet been initiated, you can say Prabhupada's mantra, and then you say that, we say that Namo Mahavadanyaya. There's a couple of verses that we say for offering to, but say Prabhupada's mantra before that. We cannot directly approach Krishna because we are not at that level of purity yet. So
Prabhu, when Krishna rejects it, does it mean, doesn't accept it, does it mean that he is actually, somebody is committing an offense there by offering him things that he should not be offered? Let's say somebody eats meat,
it's not an offense. Krishna is just not accepting it. An offense in the sense, yes, let's say if they offer meat, they are going to get karma for that, whatever state they might be. I was talking to somebody a couple of weeks back, and the lady was saying, why would people who sell meat would suffer also? Why will they get karma? Everybody gets karma. Whether you breed the animal, you kill the animal, you pack the meat, then you sell it, everybody gets karma. So, but then yes, it offense in the sense that Krishna does not take offense. Krishna is like a loving father, right? If a child does something stupid and comes to the father is going to ignore that. He say, okay, you just stay away, no problem. But it's not like he does not appreciate it, but it's not like he will take offense. Yes, they will suffer because of their own karma, not necessarily because Krishna takes it.
So are we saying that, in other words, even offering doesn't do any good to the offerer? If he doesn't accept it, then you have to still bear the karma, right?
He has to bear the karma. Yeah, he will have to bear the karma because he's doing something that is against Shastra. Clearly. Krishna in the last verse didn't say you can offer me, meat or anything. He just clearly said vegetarian food, patram pushpam phalam toyam. Nothing else. So, yeah, he does not accept it.
Prabhuji, also one point, like it's also depend on bhava, also what consciousness we are while making a food, what consciousness we are making the food, and like it's for our sense gratification or for Krishna's pleasure. It's also matters, right, Prabhuji?
The intention matters a lot also. Yes, yes, you're right.
Yeah, because a lot of things we are eating, not Krishna is eating, but we are still offering
Yeah.
to Krishna. So yeah, thank you, Prabhuji.
So
So Prabhu, like there are some devotees in the temple, like they said that they offer like food cooked with onion garlic also. And they are in the second category of shloka, right? So, I mean, are they getting any benefit out of it or not? Like, that's my question. I'm not still clear. Or it's just that.
onion garlic is not a problem. Don't worry about that. Onion garlic versus meat, there is a huge difference between both of them. Onion garlic, yes, it's we don't eat it because it affects our consciousness, but it's still a vegetable, right? We still consider it as vegetables. So it's not like people who offer, they don't get. See, there are grades, right? If somebody is saying in the temple that we offer with onion garlic, if they are doing it with the thought process that eventually we will give up onion garlic, Krishna will accept it because he sees the bhava in their heart that they are trying their best, but they're not able to give it up yet. But if they're doing it with the thought that, oh, I'm never going to give it up and I'll continue to doing it, then again, they'll be again taking karma because of it. So the intention matters a lot in the way we are offering.
Thank you, Prabhu.
And then, please mute somebody's unmute. And then when you were saying that about sinful activities, right? So we don't necessarily offer sinful activities. Obviously, we can offer the positive activities to Krishna. But what we can do is we can offer our attachment to the sinful activities to Krishna. Right? I shouldn't make a license out of this that, oh, I'm going to offer all my attachment to Krishna, but I'll continue having that attachment or those sinful activities. So we have to be clear that Krishna, whatever good and bad activities that I have, whatever attachment I have to the bad activities, may that attachment be completely transferred to you. Jiva Goswami makes that prayer. Right? Bhagavad Vishayam eva bhavatu. I'm offering it to you. But those negative activities, don't expect that Krishna will take those also. So we can surely offer the attachment to those bad activities.
Prabhuji, Shabri is the good example of this because her bhav is actually matters for Sri Ram. Not she has eaten already the fruits, but she offered with the bhav. That's matter.
Yes, yeah, that's a very good point. Yes, Bhava was there. And she was not eating it because she wanted to eat it. She was just tasting it that I don't give Lord Ram something that is sour. That's why she was eating it, tasting it before giving it to Lord. So yeah, that's a very good example. Okay.
Prabhuji, one quick question. Where would Sudan Kasai from the Bhagavatam fall in this discussion? We're discussing about the meat and how should we understand this example in relation to karma and devotion service?
Whose example did you ask? I didn't hear you clearly.
Sudan Kasai.
Who's that? I didn't get it again. Sorry.
So isn't there
Can you
story
just
of,
type it in the chat with the name, what you're saying? If you can.
okay, I just start there.
Sudan Kasai. I don't know who. Is he character from the Bhagavatam? I've never heard of him.
Oh, maybe I'm just confusing from other stories there.
Could be,
Okay,
yeah. It's not in the Bhagavatam. I haven't heard it.
I think he's from one Odia story.
I think it's from Bhaktmal maybe. Yeah.
Bhaktmal. Okay, I've never heard of that book either.
Yes, Prabhuji, Sadan Kasai is from Bhaktmal only.
Okay, so we can do the story later on, discuss that. So what will happen when you will do that? In this way, you will be freed from bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me. So what will happen when we follow this path? Then we will, so what is the result of 26 and 27? Two results, right? Prabhupada talks about it in detail here. Let's see. Liberation, there's one liberation word that Prabhupada uses, and then he also uses, I think, what is that used? Realization. Okay. Yeah, so there Prabhupada uses two words. He says liberation and realization. So if you follow these two verses, you'll be freed from all karma bandhana. So Krishna is using that. Karma bandhana. Moksha se karma bandhana. Right? Freedom from all the karma. Right? So all the tapasya, whatever you're doing, when you offer it to Krishna, it all becomes auspicious. Then Prabhupada brings out the concept of liberation. He says there are 5 different stages of liberation. And here it is specified that the devotee who has always lived his lifetime here under the direction of the Supreme Lord, as stated, has evolved to the point where he can, after quitting, go back to Godhead. So, anybody knows the 5 stages of liberation? What are the 5 stages of liberation? 5 types of liberation rather than stages, I would say. No? Okay, let's pull it up. I'll quickly show it. It's given in Srimad Bhagavatam. You all can read it at your pleasure, but let me just show you where it is.
Rupa, Sajya, correct, Prabhu, something
Yes,
like that.
yeah, those are the ones, yes. Let me pull this up.
Impersonal emerge, you get same bodily features.
And
then
yes, those are.
you begin associate.
Yeah. Okay. So you all can memorize these 5, the names and the meanings. Salokya, Shashti, Samipya, Sarupya, Ekatva. These are the 5. So what are these 5? Let's see. Prabhupada explains these. Okay. Salokya, as the name says, living on the same planet as the Supreme Personality. Okay. And that's Vaikuntha is being talked about here, not Goloka. Okay. Then Shashti is having the opulence is equal to the opulence of the Lord. Same opulence. Samipya, you become a personal associate of the Lord. Sarupya, you get the same bodily features as the Lord. And then the last one was Ekatva, which is here. Oneness with the Supreme Lord. And Prabhupada is very clear, devotees never desire Ekatva. Okay. They actually don't desire any of the 5. Right? But then this is the verse. No devotee never wants to merge with Krishna. And then the other 4, which are given in the Vaikuntha world, not in Goloka. This is 3:29:13. You all can read it in more detail to understand these. It's good to have these understanding. 3:29:13, Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, let's get back. Anyone who has no interest but to dedicate his life to the service of the Lord is actually a sannyasi. So what does the word sannyasi mean? The word sannyasi, if you break it down, anyas, the word anyas, second part of it, means to put it in proper place. To put something in its proper place. A place for everything and everything in its place. And the word sun means everything. So sannyas means you know where everything is to be placed, or in a more broader sense, you know the use of everything. What is the perfect use of everything? That person is sannyasi. Sannyasi is not just a person who's wearing saffron clothes. A person in a grihastha ashram can also be sannyasi if he knows exactly how to use everything in his life for Krishna's purpose. He or she can be living a life of a sannyasi also. So sannyasi, yes, it's one of the ashrams, but sannyasi is also a mindset. It's a lifestyle. Okay. So that's something also to keep in mind. Let's see. What else is Prabhupada saying? Okay, Prabhupada is saying, it is said, therefore, by Vaishnava authorities that even the most intelligent person cannot understand the plans and activities of a pure devotee. So Prabhupada is saying. So, why do you think are the actions of a pure devotee difficult to understand? Who can tell me? Any thoughts? Anyone? Who all are on the call? Let me see.
Yeah, because Prabhuji, pure devotee knows. I'm speaking in context of the action taken or instruction given to us in that context. So sometimes it may feel harsh because he understand what is our level is and where we are. Based on that, he might give instruction.
No.
So,
This verse, this sentence is saying that I cannot understand the plans and activities of a pure devotee. So what does that mean? That's what I'm asking. And I, being on my level, for example, there were many things that Prabhupada did that we might not understand fully. So that's something to, that's what I'm trying to say. I'll give you an example.
Pure
If you,
devotee doesn't.
sorry, go ahead.
Maybe he's pure devotee sometimes acts in a fashion to come to your level to make you understand, and you kind of get bewildered in that situation of that understanding. But he's still a pure devotee,
Yeah, he comes to
even
our
though he's
levels,
acting.
but then, so you're saying that we cannot understand because he's at a much higher level than us, right? That's what you're
He's
saying.
definitely a higher level than us, and then he also acts at a different levels at different situations.
Yes. So that's it, right? So because a devotee is always thinking, what will please Krishna? That's what he is asking, he or she is asking. Like Arjun is a good example. So, but we at our level, because we're still in a materialistic mindset, I always think of actions based on personal gain, loss, comfort, reputation, social conventions. But a pure devotee does not think that way. If you go to Prabhupada's birthplace in Calcutta, now ISKCON has purchased that property, and it's beautiful. And they made it a very beautiful place. There's a jackfruit tree under which Prabhupada was born. Behind the jackfruit tree, there's a wall on which there is a letter which Prabhupada had written to one of his disciples saying that you should buy this property and make it a place of pilgrimage. So now if you look at it, if somebody hears that, they will say, what an arrogant person. He wants his own birthplace to be made a place of pilgrimage. Right? But we don't understand the meaning behind it. Prabhupada had to establish himself as the Acharya. Sometimes an Acharya, even though it's very uncomfortable for them, they have to establish for the benefit of his followers. They have to establish themselves as an Acharya. That's also a service they do. Right? So I'm just giving an example, real life example. So yes, but this does not mean we should blindly follow. Prabhupada repeatedly warned us against blindly following. So we should not blindly follow. We not, I don't understand, I'll just follow whatever he says. Following does not mean imitating, nor does it mean to give up your intelligence. Krishna himself tells Arjuna in 1863, Vimarshita-dasheshena yathechhasi tatha kuru. Deliberate and do. So what it means by you cannot understand is that we cannot understand a pure devotee's decisions based on ordinary material logic. That's what it means.
Oh, hello, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I
Hare
have a
Krishna.
thought.
Yes.
So is it also like about bhava, like what bhava you're worshiping the Lord? Because that's very like it's personal to you. So not everybody may be in, at the level. So does it anything to do with what bhav your sentiment that you're worshiping the Lord?
Yes, sentiment also makes a difference, as long as the sentiment is based on Shastra. If the sentiment is just my own thought and emotions, then it doesn't hold ground. But yes, if the bhava, it also makes a difference. Yes.
Yeah, like somebody worshiping the Lord with the dasya vav may be very different from somebody worshiping the Lord with sakya vav, and people
Yes,
will
that's
not
correct.
understand.
Yeah, we will not be able to understand that. Yes, you're right. Okay. So whenever you see something which you don't understand, you can take three routes to understand, or to what you can do. It's not that Krishna is not asking us to keep quiet. You can always go back and check with Shastra. Every genuine spiritual authority is subordinate to Shastra. They'll always follow Shastra. That's one very easy way of looking at it. Does Shastra confirm this kind of an action? Secondly, you can ask them sincere questions directly to that person. Krishna even says that, right? But tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadikshanti te jnanam jnanina sattva. You can ask questions. Another way of doing it is third way is you can assume that there will be a higher reason. See, I don't understand the whole picture. So that comes from a place of humility. So you can look at it from these three perspectives. Take a humble approach and understand that, there might be a higher reason, I don't understand it. You can go back and check with Shastra. And you can also ask questions, but in a sincere way, not in a arrogant way. So those are some ways of doing it. Okay, 29.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
So when you have some sort of politics involved at the temple management or GBCs or things like that, if you don't understand, because those are sort of material things, you're running the spiritual platform, but still we are working on the material level. So those kind of like conflict or human drama, we leave it up to that as that's pure devotees decisions that we don't understand. How do you answer those situations?
Yes. See, if it's GBC, and they all, you have to have a different approach, right? You cannot just have the same approach for all of them. GBC is, there are devotees who have been practicing for a very long time. They're very senior. They have a very good standing in the society. So if you don't understand something what the GBC does, you should have that opportunity to ask them that question. And I'm not saying you should not ask them, but there's a very good chance that we will not be able to understand it because they're coming from a much higher level. They're seeing a much, much bigger picture. But that does not stop you from asking questions to them. And if you think there is something really wrong happening, then you should have a place where you can put in a complaint, or it's not like you should just not talk about it. You should talk about it. Every temple has these grievance cells. There are for many different. Yeah.
They're not necessarily, be answered by Shastras, because they're all run by sannyasis and experienced disciples.
Yeah.
But all of they go through the mistakes.
Yes. So yeah, for that, the best is you can just ask them with humility and sincerity, and they will answer your question. That's the approach.
Honestly, I'm not interested in asking this question. It's just so many things, it's just not gonna solve issue, because it's not just one thing. It's connected to a lot of different things, and it just doesn't feel comfortable to challenge the authority. Not that I have, huge solution for them or anything, but it just stays with me. Sometimes, I don't know why they run these things like this, but it's just a part of the, institute, part of the ups and downs of having, multiple people running things.
However, you also have to judge it from a perspective that it does not hurt your bhakti. I know devotees, very good devotees, they do service, but in the core of their heart, they have so many doubts that they never take that next step. They never select a guru, they never take initiation, never commit themselves because they have so many doubts in their heart, and they don't ask people those doubts. They just keep it in their heart. Sometimes they will ask it, but still they will not take the answer properly. So that hurts your bhakti. So I just wanted to let you know, if there is something that is poking you 24, is poking you a lot, and it's kind of coming up into your consciousness all the time, then it will start affecting your bhakti also. You don't want that to happen. Then you need a solution for it. Otherwise, in the long run, what will happen? You will just become a casual bhakta. Casual means, oh yeah, I'll do my 16 rounds, I'll do my 4 regulative principles. Other than that, I won't do anything. I don't like temple, I don't like ISKCON, I don't like this guy, I don't like that guy. That's not the right way to approach it. I'm not saying you're doing it, I'm just giving you another viewpoint to look at it from.
Yeah.
Because I know devotees who have paused their bhakti because of this reason, which is very painful when I see them. I know them, I know them personally, I know they're very good devotees, no problem. But those doubts just stick in their heart and doesn't let them progress.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, this whole setup Prabhupada has set up is for us all to become pure devotees and go back home, back to God. And doubts will always be there in your heart. But there'll be some doubts that need clarification. There'll be some doubts that I can clearly see are coming from my maturity. Hey, I just don't understand this. For example, Bhagavatam. I must have read the 5th canto 3 or 4 times. I still don't understand the whole concept of this cosmology and how the planetary system, where does Brahma sit in this whole system and all that. I'm never able to understand that. So that's a doubt, but then it doesn't mean I give up reading Bhagavatam. No, I just keep reading it. I pray to Krishna, Krishna, let me understand it when the right time comes. And I let it be. But if you let the doubt fester in your heart, as they say, right? I don't know how, in Hindi there is a saying, right? That from a small wound, it'll become a deeper wound. And that wound will fester, and then it'll suck up all your energy. And you don't want that to happen at all. Sorry, I'm not pointing to you, but I'm just saying that this could happen. I know people happen to people.
Okay, thank you.
29. Krishna is saying, I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. So if you all remember, we read this verse, I think it was the 11th verse of this chapter. Was it 11th or 12th? Which was 9th or 9th, sorry. So here he says, Krishna says, O Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I'm advertised. Is this the word I'm looking? Which was that's the one. I think it's 9.9, right? So here Krishna in 9.9, Krishna said, I'm neutral, sitting as if neutral. But in 29, Krishna takes the next step. He says, yes, I am neutral, but for devotees, I'm not neutral. I become their friend. And I become fully dedicated towards them. Right? So, however charitable we may be, we will take special interest in our own children. So, bhakti is not about flattery. Some people think of that way. I'll come in front of Krishna, I'll offer him a lot of money, and then he'll favorable to me. No. In the first place, Krishna does not need bhakti from us. He's Atmaram. Whenever we do bhakti, it's for our own purification, for our own glorification. Right? There's a verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam 7th canto. Prahlad Maharaj says that when I decorate my face, my reflection also gets automatically decorated. So Krishna manifests the perfect reciprocation, right? When Krishna is eating with his friends in Goloka, each of the friend thinks that Krishna is looking at me and he's eating my food. But then that's Krishna reciprocate, right? And it's not partiality. Krishna is saying here that I'm not partial to anyone. Sammoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshvasti nam. You get what you deserve. Simple as that. Bhagavan feature is reciprocal. And so that's what it is. Right? So Krishna has not taken away anybody's right to become devotees at any point of time. Every single living entity in this creation has an opportunity to become a devotee. they can get the same reciprocation as devotees get. Krishna is an equal opportunity purifier. So Krishna is showing his inclination towards the devotees. If you show a little devotion to me, I'll be inclined to you. Right? So that's what Krishna is offering to us. Let's see, Prabhupada saying anything else. His own children, Prabhupada saying that. What else? The Lord's reciprocation should not be considered to be under the law of karma. It belongs to transcendental situation in which the Lord and his devotees function. Devotional service to the Lord is not an activity of this material world. It is part of the spiritual world where eternity, bliss, and knowledge predominate. So Prabhupada is saying that devotional service is not something material. So whenever you all do devotional service, it's not material. It's spiritual in nature. And it's full of bliss, Satchitananand. Okay, let me ask you all this question. When Prabhupada is saying that devotional service is full of Satchidanand, why don't I feel it? Yeah, I'm talking about, some of you might be feeling it, but I don't feel that yet. That Satchidanand in the devotional service that I do. Why do you think that happens?
Because our heart is not purified yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. Anybody else? Any thoughts?
Oh, that's the end result, not when people feel in early stages.
Well, it's not just the end result. It's gray, right? It's not black and white. But the day I become pure devotee, all that happiness and bliss will come. No, it's gradual. As you will progress in bhakti, we'll all see that there are some things that give us that pleasure. Some people like to cook for Krishna, so they feel some of that.
But definitely, like it increases, right? It's something that always increases. It never decreases,
So
that's always the case. But just like what I'm saying is like a definition, right? If there's something like a definition of that, which is Krishna himself. So to be equally happy as Krishna, I think that's where we do, realize.
Yeah. So that surely will be as happy as Krishna. That will be a pure devotees. Yes. But even at our stage, we have that option to be. We get some happiness. Yes. Somebody else was saying something. Pankaj Walibu, were you saying something? No, might be somebody else.
We keep on switching between spiritual activity and material activity, right? Kind of the Tasta Shakti we are, and then we don't fully kind of realize that the potency of that Satchidananda all the time because we are not fully situated properly, maybe.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, we're not fully situated. And one thing I just want to also highlight in this thought process is we have to keep in mind that devotion just does not mean feel good emotions. Some people think that if I become a devotee, I'll always be happy, cheerful, dancing. No, that's not what it is. Right? Prabhupada had to go through a lot before he came to here, even after coming here, actually. It was not like he was happy. He was blissful, but he had to suffer a lot. 2 heart attacks. Even in India, in the hot summer of Delhi, he would go around distributing the Back to Godhead magazine. And so he was not like always blissful and jumping. They were suffering for him also. So yes, so it's not always a feel-good emotion. So
Hare Krishna, Premdam.
Yes, Adishwari.
I just had a realization this past week in helping a friend. And she was like, how we all go through synchronicities and we kind of feel Krishna's presence and our synchronicities. But then I was thinking, there's also like the ones that don't feel so good. I don't know if I just remember thinking that this week, like we always think of this good thing happened, but there's also things that we go through that are negative that we need to go through. Like Krishna is saying, look at this and go through this because you need to learn this. This is a lesson. And then when we get through it, then it's like something that, kind of like our father taught us. And then we have that in our pocket as, something that we've learned. So I guess kind of within that, Satchidananda, just feeling the reciprocation through negative and positive synchronicity.
Yes, that's a good word. Synchronicity. Synchronicity. Yes. Yeah, it's not always the good things. It'll be lessons can come anyway. Krishna can give us lessons through any means. Right? And so, yes. So our bhakti is not just about emotions. Oh yeah, I'll be feeling very happy. And also, to some extent, it's not just the action we are doing. Yes, we all are engaged in bhakti, but they don't alone comprise of devotion, right? Intention and attention are also an important part in bhakti. So when we bring the intention and attention to bhakti, then even if there will be a point where we might not feel it, we'll still be able to continue. If my bhakti is just based on emotions and there is activity, I'm doing action backed by those emotions, when those emotions go away, my actions will also go away. I knew a couple, they would come regularly to the temple, both doing 16 rounds, right? They had some unfortunate events in their life with their child. So they came to the temple regularly, serving a lot, and one day they just disappear, gone. You don't know it. They're not in touch with any devotee, they just disappear. Because their bhakti was all based on emotions. Either there were some sad emotions in their hearts or positive, doesn't matter. But all their actions were based on that. There was no intention and attention to it. That's why they lost it. And that's what happens to all of us. So if we do everything with intention and attention, then even though we might not be feeling it as of yet, but eventually we'll continue. The most important part is to continue, to keep doing what we are doing. When we complement emotion with the intentions, then it brings steadiness into our Krishna consciousness practice. So that's something important. And also, so I'll probably put it in a slightly different way. If sometimes we see that we are not getting the taste, we should always look at our intention, our attention, and our action. We should look at these three things always. Intention, attention, and action. If we are deficient in any one of these, Krishna consciousness might not work. First of all, we all got to do action. Then when we are doing that action, we have to be mindful. That is attention. And even while doing the action and being mindful, remembering why am I doing it is also important. Bringing our heart to it. If the heart is not involved, intention is not devotional, we may not get good results, right? So in Krishna consciousness, we should have our heart, head, heart, and hand. All of those in Krishna consciousness. Hand means to do practice. Head means to understand what we are doing and be attentive while doing it. Heart means to do it with feeling. So that's something to keep in mind. You all will have phases where things will look like, oh my God, I cannot continue anymore. This is too much for me. So bring your intention back. Question, why did I even start it in the first place? Let's get to 30. So we have 4 verses that will wrap up this chapter. Okay. Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. Sudurachar. So the word Krishna is using is Sudurachar. So durachar by itself means abominable action. Sudurachar means most abominable action. Prabhupada translates that. Right? It's really bad conduct. Right? So there's one level is you cheat somebody, but there's another level where you kill somebody. That's a completely higher level. So, right? So if one continues to worship with loving devotion, he must be considered as sadhu. That's what Krishna is saying. Sadhur eva sa mantavya. Consider him as sadhu. So this is obviously very mind-boggling, right? Krishna is saying in due course of time, he will be rectified. You can laugh on somebody who's dirty and who's standing under a shower, but then eventually, once he completes his shower, he will be cleansed. But this should not be so this verse should not be taken as an excuse to do durachar. Just wanted to clarify that. So we should not get in the habit of doing something wrong and then having some repentance and again doing something wrong and having some repentance. No, that shouldn't make it a habit. Shukadeva Goswami says this to Parikshit Maharaj in the 6th canto, 1st chapter. Kvachin nivartate bhadrat, kvachin varchati tat punha, prashitam partham, atho partham, manne kunjara shochva. It's like a bathing of an elephant. So what does an elephant do? It goes in the lake, takes a shower, puts water on itself, cleans itself. It comes out, fills dirt, sand in his, or soil in his trunk, and sprays himself with it. So yes. So that's something to keep in mind. Don't make this a habit. Try your best to fix the problem. If it's not being fixable, Krishna is saying, still it's okay. So now, what kind of fall down is excused in this verse? If you see, there are two kinds of fall downs. I just also mentioned it also indirectly. There is a premeditated fall down. You think it. I know that if I go to this place and do this activity, my consciousness will be polluted. Still, I don't avoid it. Krishna is not sanctioning that. That's not what's being talked about here. This is being talked about unpremeditated fall downs. Like Ajamil is an example. He was just going to his regular daily activities and he saw something. And that just pulled him in a wrong direction. He didn't think about it. Today I'm going to go from that road and I will see this guy, with his girlfriend and I'll fall down. No. So it was unpremeditated. There's a difference between, so that's what kind of thing Krishna is excusing. Something you didn't premeditate and find, you tried your best to solve it, but your senses are not still under your control. That's okay. You will eventually become pure. That's what Krishna is highlighting here. There are two words in Sanskrit, prashchit and pashyatap. No, pashyatap. Yeah, pashyatap. Prashchit and pashyatap. So pashyatap means repentance. You have this inner feeling that I have done something wrong and I won't do it again. Prashchit, on the other hand, does not guarantee repentance. But prashchit is just you do something, but it doesn't lead to inner transformation. Right? It's all atonement. I think the right word is atonement. That's what I was looking for. So atonement versus repentance. So Krishna is okay with people who are repenting their decisions, but he's not okay with people who are just coming and atoning for the sin and again going back and doing it again. That's something. Krishna wants an inner transformation to happen even if you're doing something wrong. It's not under our control. I do it. I take it to my heart. No, this is not what I wanted to do. But again, I fell down. It's okay. Krishna is just standing beside us. He's taking care of her. So atonement is not a good thing. It's a mockery, actually. Just making fun of. It's just a way out of practicing devotional service. Even after our fall down, we will continue worshipping Krishna. Samyak vivasita. That person doesn't give up Krishna bhakti. Doesn't take to gyan, karma or anything to rectify his fault. No. He's desirous of attaining Krishna and he's not after material happiness. Yeah, made a mistake. It was not premeditated. It's okay. So first is to recognize, don't hide it. Then repent. Okay? So it comes in the heart of a good soul once he commits a mistake. You start repenting. It has two components. It has guilt in it. It has grief in it. Guilty that I have broken something that my guru or Krishna told me to follow. And grief that I have broken the heart. I've heard them. So repentance has some sort of penance automatically built into it. Is that okay? Is that clear what Krishna is talking about here? I'll take a pause if anybody had any doubts or thoughts about it.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah, I just like, yeah, although like you said that, sometimes when people commit premeditated mistakes, they are not really forsaken. But I've heard so many stories from ISKCON about like misconduct against women. So, and they were not like all, I mean, I cannot speak whether they were premeditated or not. But then I have not like heard any action really taken against those cases. So, and also like I think in what's that? In ninth canto, there is this story about Brihaspati and he wanting to have relationship with his brother's wife. So all those stories are also like little bit difficult for me to understand in context of this shloka.
So your first part was that devotees did something with women and they were not punished for it.
Yes.
That was first part of it, right?
Yeah.
So it's something very personal between Krishna and the devotee. One thing that I just want to highlight, I think this is a good point to it. One thing we should note is we should not humiliate others for falling down. We pray for their well-being. We don't criticize them. We encourage them, right? Create a sense of belongingness. Our rectification should lead to encouragement and engagement in bhakti. But if we correct in a way that the person loses interest, that is not valuable. So I'll give you an example. What was that? Prabhu's name? I am getting bad with names now. The Prabhu who started the Rath Yatra in US, and we put his picture on the Rath Yatra.
Jayanand.
Jayananda, yes, Jayananda. So Jayananda Prabhu, once he went to a butcher shop and he was looking for somebody, and he was told he's in the back where they cut those meat. He went and looked at that person and he hugged him. And that guy, when he met his friend, the guy was drenched in blood. He was practically had an axe in his hand and cutting meat and so forth. So Jayananda Prabhu went and hugged him. And he said, where have you been? I've been missing you. Please come to the temple. And that person was so appreciative of just this little incident that he came back and he became a devotee. So even if you see something that's happening wrong, first of all, don't build that hatred or envy towards, or not enviness, hatred or anger towards them, because we don't know where they fell down, or even if they are feeling that repentance in the heart, we don't know about that, or we don't also know whether they were punished for it or not. You might have heard things, but you might surely don't have the whole picture. I can understand that you might not have that. So we should give such devotees a benefit of doubt and let them live their own life. Krishna is taking care of everything. If they have done something repeatedly, then they have fallen off, and whatever sinful activity they were doing, they will get their punishment for that. But that should not, again, going back to what I was earlier saying, that should not affect your bhakti in any way. You see it, you realize that this was not properly taken care of, and understanding that Krishna eventually will take care of everything, and you just move ahead with it. So don't let it stick around in your heart. That's something I would like to say to you. What was the second part you said? I forgot the second one.
I was mentioning, like, I was giving an example from Srimad Bhagavatam from about Brihaspati.
Yeah. So again, see, Brihaspati is just like he's a living entity like all of us. So don't expect perfection from him. Demigods, don't expect any perfection from demigods. But then again, the same principle. Just because they're doing something wrong without premeditating on it, there's no premeditation, we should not just start hating them for something. There is a reason they have been given a elevated position. We read in Bhagavatam, Brahma got attracted to his own daughter. Right?
Yeah.
What can you do about it? Because he's not perfect either. Actually, all these things, Whenever you see anything negative happening in ISKCON, in your temples, in your surrounding, take a lesson that this is what I'm not supposed to do. Take that as a lesson for you from that situation. Rather than getting stuck on, oh, why did this happen? Why was this person not punished? Women are not treated properly here. This movement is transcendental. Prabhupada is a pure devotee. But the people who are following it are not perfect. They will always make mistakes.
Prabhu,
But
someone actually really explained to me the same question that you're talking about. What he said is that ISKCON is like a hospital, you can consider it a mental hospital where people go to get their mind fixed, their spirituality fixed, right? There will be some patients who will actually walk out nice and fine because they will listen to everything that the doctor says. But there'll be other people who are actually not, There will always be like bad apples everywhere. So you can't blame an organization or, the movement itself. That's what somebody told me to
yeah,
see
that's
it,
also a good way of putting it. Yeah, seeing it as a hospital. But more importantly, what I'm focusing on is your individual bhakti. This world is going to keep on going. If you look around yourself, there is so much nonsense happening. Immense amount of nonsense happening in this country, in India. Amazingly stupidifying nonsense happening. Should that disturb me in my bhakti? Should I start thinking, oh, Krishna does not exist, he's not taking care of the situation? No, I don't understand the whole situation. My focus is not on what I'm trying to focus on is don't let any of these things affect your bhakti. That's what I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's just like when I hear all these stories, I feel like what if like I'm the victim in that case? Like what is gonna happen with me? That is of course going to affect my bhakti. Like, okay, if I'm the culprit, then like whatever you're saying that falls true. But then what if I'm on the other side? So that is like one of the fears that I have.
Yeah, so I was told, give that fear to Krishna. Let Krishna know about it. Did you discuss this with somebody else? You should discuss it with somebody in detail. But I have this fear. And also you should, when you chant tomorrow morning, just tell Krishna, Krishna, I have this fear in my heart. Can you please help me resolve it? Ask Krishna. You should tell all your problems to Krishna. Because he knows that this person is sincerely trying to progress in bhakti, and this thing is probably acting as some sort of a roadblock. He will clear it for you. Yes, Pankaj Wali Prabhu, you have something to add?
Yeah, Prabhuji. Another question was, Prabhuji, say in the context here is Krishna is describing all this to Arjuna because Arjuna was lamenting, right? And then, so why Krishna is telling this to Arjuna while Arjuna is going to do the right thing?
Why is Krishna telling him about people who fall down if he's going to do the right
Yeah,
thing?
exactly. I mean, Arjuna was after hearing all the Bhagavad Gita, he's going to fight, right? So, so why do Arjuna need to know this?
Well, because Krishna does not want Arjun to have any negativity against the people he's going to fight against, more standing opposite to him. Right? Arjun could be in love with them or he could hate them, but Krishna does not want him to do either one of those things. What he's indirectly saying that some of the people you're going to kill might be genuinely good people. Right? But then be assured that I'm going to take care of them. So that's what Krishna wants to hint upon.
Got it, Prabhu. Like how Krishna took care of Bhishma-pitama.
Yeah, that's a good way of seeing it. Yes. So Krishna does not want Arjun to. So the whole process of bhakti is for us to have this kind of detachment to both aversions and attachment, both the good thing and the bad things. Good things can attract us towards them. Bad things can make our, go like, I don't like this. I hate the hatred in our heart. Krishna does not want either one of those to come in our heart. He wants us to see everything neutral, that this whole world is being taken care of. Everything in this world is happening according to Krishna's direction. Everybody is paying paying for their own karma. There's nobody out there to hurt me. Nothing of that sort. Krishna just wants us to be in that mindset. If we keep either being in a state of attachment or aversion and hatred, both of those are going to pull us away from our bhakti. That's why Krishna wants to clarify this to Arjuna.
I think similar thing was happening in the Mahabharata, right, Prabhuji? Like Draupadi, like misconduct happened with Draupadi, and Bhishma Pitama was kept silent, but that was one of the misconduct. Everyone can say about that, but
and then he had to pay for it. Everybody who was in that assembly, they had to pay for it, who did not speak up. They had to pay for it. And some people say, oh, Bhishma Dev is one of the 12 Mahajans. And Bhagavatam says, right, Mahajano yena gatha sapantha. You have to follow Mahajans. And now Krishna this Mahajan is not behaving the way he should. Krishna said, he will be punished for it. He'll be lying on a bed of arrows for many days. So, yeah, it's always.
So in a way that if we see something bad, like Krishna will take care of it, right? Instead of we getting ourselves involved and thinking anything negative about it.
Yes, but also if there is something that you can do, you should take action. I'm not saying you should just become blind to it. If you're seeing something wrong happening, there will be proper authorities that you can complain about. But yes, don't become so attached to it that, oh my God, I told this to the temple president, he didn't solve it. All this is nonsense. I'm not doing bhakti. We should not come to that level. That's what I want to avoid. But if something needs attention, it should be brought to the right authorities' attention. But not with an expectation that this will be solved according to the way I see it. As Krishna just said, we don't know it. We don't know what is right and what's the perfect. We were talking about it. We don't understand how pure devotees work. Or, even senior devotees, not even just pure. We don't understand that fully. We're not at that level. So yes, not being attached to it, but then if there's something that's happening and you feel that you should bring it up without getting emotionally entangled in it, you should do it. Okay. Julan Yatra, I know I didn't give you a convincing answer, but you should discuss this with somebody if you can in detail. And more importantly, I would just recommend you sit down tomorrow when you do for chant, you just talk to Krishna about it. Let him know that Krishna, this is a big deterrent in my bhakti process. I need your help for this. And I assure you, how can I assure you? But I'm sure Krishna will help you. Because Prabhupada says this in the Rajavidya, 2nd chapter, Krishna Prabhupada says that very clearly, that you should tell all your grievances to Krishna. And Krishna will solve it. And he says you should tell it in detail, not just, oh yeah, Krishna, this is what I'm thinking. No. Krishna, this is what happened. This person didn't take action. This is what I felt. And now this is affecting me. Please help me. And then Krishna will help you. Okay, let's move forward. So Krishna is telling what happens to those people who fall down, and they should be taken as devotees. Krishna says he quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. Oh, son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. What happens to a devotee who fall down? He attains lasting peace. Now, interestingly, Krishna is asking Kaunteya to say this. Someone may say, Krishna, you take the vow. Why Kaunteya? Krishna says, I always break my vow. I'm famous for breaking my vows. Now we see that Bhishma Devi broke his vow to not raise a weapon. But if a devotee makes a vow, Krishna will always fulfill it. He'll do everything to fulfill that vow. Prahlad Maharaj said, my Bhagavan is in the pillar. Bhagavan came from a pillar. If a devotee makes a vow, everyone can rest assured Krishna will fulfill it. It shows the loving reciprocation for a devotee. Arjun had taken a vow to kill Jayadratha. Krishna helped him fulfill it. Right? Our mood should be, Krishna, I have done an offense, but please let me continue doing bhakti. Please let me win devotee association. Right? There is a very good song, Manasa Deho Geho. You should listen to that by Bhakti Thakur. Very beautiful song. Janma Bimoy Ichha Yadi Tora Bhakta Grihe Jani Janma Huinura. That, if you want to give me another birth as a human being, then give me a birth as a devotee. And Prabhupada gives a very good answer somewhere here towards the end. According to the Vedas, there is a certain regulation that if one falls down from exalted position, he has to undergo certain ritualistic process to purify himself. But here there is no such condition because the purifying process is already there in the heart of the devotee due to his remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead constantly. Here, be very clear There is a fall down. It's not premeditated. He is not repeatedly do it, he or she. They did something wrong, but they want to repent. They're repenting. There's grief and guilt in their heart. So Prabhupada is recommending you just keep chanting. Nama prad yuktanam namani eva haranti agham avishranti prayuktani tan evartha karani cha. This is in Padma Purana. It's given that even if you are chanting and you're making mistakes, you just keep chanting and those offenses will go. So there's something. 32. O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they may be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, merchants, and Shudras workers can attain the supreme destination. So, Papiyune. So Papiyune means, the word Krishna is using, Papiyune. So, Krishna is saying that it's based on born with some sinful background or born with some disadvantages. Here only 3 are given. 3 are Vaishyas, Shudras. In actuality, there are lots and lots of them more. Kirata Hunanda Pulinda Pulkasha, Avir Sambha, Yavana Kasha. There's a verse in the 2nd canto where we are told, given names of all these people. Kirata, Hunandara, Pulinda, Pulkasha, Abhira, Suma. So they're all Yavanas. All the Westerners are called Yavanas. Right? So they all will become purified by taking shelter of Krishna or his devotee. Right? So that's what is being said. It's not just that only specific somebody is being referred to here. It's for everybody. And then we have talked about this concept of woman in the past. I won't necessarily go into those details. So the context here is power of bhakti, not the inferiority of woman here. Right? Krishna is describing the social conditions that existed at that time. He's not presenting them as an ideal. So Bhagavad Gita represents the prevailing culture at the time when Bhagavad Gita was spoken. Right? So men and women, they are completely equal on a spiritual platform. So any difference that comes is speaking at not even at a material, it's more at a material and spiritual where that conjunction happens, right? So if you see materially also women are successful. Yes, Julian, yes.
You finish your point, I will talk later. I just raised my hand because I thought you'll get attention when you. Okay.
So yes, so as I mentioned earlier, that it's not about spiritual. Spiritually, men and women, they are equal, right? So when it's saying that lower, Krishna is saying, they have a disadvantage. It's not about IQ, memory, academic availability, technical skill. In Vedic understanding, intelligence means having the capacity to distinguish material from spirit, understanding that I'm not this body, controlling the senses, practicing austerity, those things. Right? So when Krishna is saying that they're born with a disadvantage, they're referring to greater difficulty in spiritual discrimination. Krishna is not talking about lower intellectual capacity. Because women have a more deeper connection in comparison to men to their physical appearance. They are emotional in nature. Their emotional responses tend to be stronger than rational analysis. So there is stronger bodily identification, makes it hard to realize that I'm not this body. And this is presented as a general tendency. It's not an absolute rule. So just wanted to repeat it. We have talked about it many times. And the Vedic society, it never promotes competition. It promotes cooperation. Men and women have complementary roles. So the purpose is cooperation, stable families, spiritual progress, raising children, social harmony, not a competition at all. We have very specific roles as men and women. So, yeah. But unfortunately, nowadays, with this so-called feminism, which promotes independence over cooperation, which weakens family structures, increases conflicts, encourages more of the bodily identification, and all this eventually creates more obstacles in spiritual advancement. So, yes, you will have that. Go ahead, tell me.
I just wanted to share my realization about this role of women. In the same ninth canto, there is this whole story about Urvashi, King Pururava, being
Mm.
so enchanted by her, and then she describes this whole uh, how like a woman is really, and she's like whatever she's saying, it sounds just so derogatory. And then I was like discussing this with Divyangi, and she was saying, like, I was just saying that, this sounds so scary to me, the way she's like describing a woman. And then she was like, but yeah, but you don't worry, because you're like on your path to become a devotee. And things like this make me realize that the difference between a woman and a devotee is that devotee is very dedicated towards serving Krishna. And in my like material life also, as a scientist, I have seen that so many like Nobel laureates, like there was this one, Tu Yu. She won the Nobel Prize in 2015, and she found this cure for malaria. And she was like so dedicated that when she had this opportunity, she saw that so many people are suffering. She just left her children behind. Like, she didn't even give them a reason, like why I'm going to do whatever I'm doing. But at the same time, like, I remember there was this postdoc in my lab. She was also a mother, but every as soon as it's like 4 o'clock, she's like, oh, I gotta go. So the difference is like both of them are women, but one is like really dedicated and the other is not. So that dedication is something that is differentiating between a woman from a devotee. That was the point I wanted to make.
When you say one of them was dedicated and other not, which one are you talking about was dedicated?
The Nobel laureate.
So you think that was the right thing to do? Is that what you mean, right?
Yeah, I because she, out of dedication, she decided, she saw like so many people were suffering, so she just decided to dedicate herself.
But then what about her not doing her mother's other duty as a mother?
Yeah, but then at the same time, there were so many children suffering as well.
So it's okay to give up your children for others' children. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if it's like for a higher cause.
Okay. Okay. I won't open it up for discussion here, but it's okay. Okay, that's good. Um, so now let's come to the next one. How much more this is so of the righteous brahmanas, the devotees, and the saintly kings. Therefore, having come to this temporary miserable world, engage in loving service unto me. So all that was described earlier, those people, Striya, Vaishyas, the Shudras, they all can be qualified by bhakti. There's no distinction. And technically, we all are Shudras. Kalau Shudra Sambhava. In Kali Yuga, everybody is a Shudra. So man, woman, everybody. So everybody has that opportunity to engage in loving service and come out of, come to the level of pure devotional service. And the last most important words: engage your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee. Offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Right? It's the center of the center of whole Bhagavad Gita. Right? So what is the result of the most confidential knowledge? Right? Personal association of Krishna. How to get it? Through this practice. Six times Krishna is using the word mama. Right? So many Mayavadis saying that, oh, Krishna is impersonal. No, this verse clearly tells Krishna is not impersonal. So purport to this verse and summary of entire chapter is here. And so they hide. Okay, so Prabhupada is telling that how the Mayavadis look at it. Okay, Krishna is telling that they'll surely come to me, being completely absorbed. But then bhakti does not promise that there'll be no disease, no financial problems, no difficulties, no loss. Everything will be there. They will still come. What will change when we practice these 6 steps is our consciousness. So that is what's going to change. Happiness comes from connection, not circumstances. But that's one of the biggest themes of Bhagavad Gita. By being connected to Krishna, not by merely arranging the matter perfectly, the material world around me. By being connected to Krishna is from where happiness is going to come. That explains why wealthy people are still depressed. Prisoners can become saints. Devotees can remain peaceful despite illness. His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, he had cancer spread all over his body. But he was very blissful when he was leaving his body. Devotees see Krishna everywhere. A random person might say, oh, why is this happening to me? The devotee asks, okay, what is the lesson for me in this? The same event becomes meaningful when we live our life according to these 6 things Krishna is telling us. Success becomes an opportunity to serve. Failure becomes an opportunity to learn a lesson. And all that entitlement in my heart, I want this, this is for me, all that is replaced by gratitude. Happiness is closely connected to gratitude. When we become grateful to Krishna for all the gifts he's giving air, food, relationships, opportunities, then we start, as you can, swim in gratitude. So such gratitude produces happiness when we live our life according to these 6 principles. And this whole world becomes a university for me, for learning. It becomes a place of service for me. That's what happens. No more, how can this world satisfy me? It becomes, how can I use this world in Krishna's service? This is an enormous psychological shift when we live our life according to these 6 attributes. Yukta Vairagya, everything using for Krishna's service. And Prabhupada says, let's see if I can find that. Okay. And says he will eventually receive the supreme award of Krishna. Prabhupada says this in the right? So eventually, the person receives the supreme award of Krishna. Eventually. But that doesn't mean it will begin after death. No, it can happen before death also. Prabhupada is deliberately using the word eventually here because there is a present reward. There is increasing happiness, there is purpose in our life, there is gratitude, so many things that are coming. But then there is an ultimate reward also. We reach Krishna's abode and we resume eternal loving service. That is the supreme reward. So eventually. So what does it mean actually to receive Krishna? That Prabhupada is saying, the Supreme will receive Krishna, the Supreme. So what does it mean? It doesn't mean that we'll become God, we'll not become Krishna. It means that we'll enter into an eternal relationship with him. It includes seeing him face to face, serving him according to our eternal identity, Swarup, participating in our eternal pastimes, never forgetting him, experiencing uninterrupted loving exchanges with Krishna. And that is what scriptures call prema. Not merely going to a location, oh, we'll go Goloka, no, but living in an eternal loving relationship with Krishna there. That's what happens when we follow these 6 things. Okay. This chapter ends here. If anybody has any last minute thoughts, comments, questions, please.
I do have a question. So when you said the women, Shudra, Vaishyas, they're in different, when Krishna doesn't mean that women and men are not equal in spiritual platform, but when he separates them, even women can be liberated. Are these categories, like women, Vaishyas, and Shudras, are lower than men's? Is it the consciousness level? I didn't understand your explanation, how you explain in Vedic culture when they say women, what does that mean? they're lower rank of hierarchy?
They're not low. So spiritual platform, no difference. We
Correct.
both, men, women, both have equal opportunity to go back home.
Mm-hmm.
Material platform, no difference, right? Materially also women are as successful as men. They're doing what all men can do. It comes more at the conjunction of material and spiritual. Because materially, women have a role to play as a mother, because of which they have to be very emotional in nature. Men, on the other hand, are rational in nature. But that emotional nature in women makes them, I would say, put at some disadvantage to pick up bhakti, to realize that, oh, I'm not this body. They have more of a deeper connection to physical appearance, right? Because of their role as a woman, because of their role as a mother. So it's just the design, the way this whole structure has been designed. On the other hand, men being more rational, they don't have an emotional attribute, because of which bringing heart to bhakti is hard for men. So there is some disadvantage in both of those things, in both of those, men as well as women. That's what I was highlighting.
Makes
Did that
sense.
make sense?
It does. But it is very sad to see how women are turning into warrior in every level in Kali Yuga. And I don't agree what Jula Nyatra said. I mean, I do agree. I admire the women who took care of such important things. But if I was her child, I would be happier to have my mom by my side. I mean, I'd be also proud that my mom does such an amazing thing in the society. But we are misled in this culture that women can do, the priority is changing. Like, I often stay late at work, because it has to be done. I don't want to look bad in my work. But then, if I don't have to, I will be very happy in Vedic society. If I'm happy to serve my husband who's taking care of me, serve my child, you know, who's learning to obey. So I think the women's role in Kali Yuga, we dig our holes,
It's
our
just,
own.
yeah, no, I totally I understand that. Yeah, because of this so-called, as I said, feminism, right? The modern feminism promoting independence over cooperation. Men and women have a very specific role in the society. Either one of them, when they start giving up that role, that hurts the harmony that Krishna has created in this world. We don't want to do. And then I'm not saying women or men, anybody, both of them. If anything leads to weakening the family structure, increases conflict, encourages bodily identification, they all are obstructions to spiritual advancement. Our goal is to advance spiritually, men, women, anybody. The Vedic model, that is why it emphasized upon humility, cooperation, complementary roles. But now, unfortunately, women have been objectified in society, which is a very bad situation, right? And it's just very, I cannot even imagine how much pressure women have to go through in the society because of that objectification that the society puts on them. And yeah, but this is Kali Yuga. This is going to happen. It's going to get worse, actually. So,
Yeah, I think like I was just trying to make the difference between a woman and a devotee. Maybe like
yeah,
the example was not right, but anyways, like that's the point that I was trying to bring in, that like a devotee can go like
dedication.
an extra step, but a regular woman cannot. So it was not just about like giving up her children. That's just like
Hmm.
making an example that she went that extra step to take care of everyone. So I guess like maybe
Yeah.
that was a wrong example.
No, it can be a good example if you would have taken care of her children and done that. So see, when we give up one responsibility to take up another, that doesn't help much. But if we can continue, that's what a CEO does, right? Okay, CEO, I was taking care of 4 people. I was a manager. I became a senior manager. Now there are 10 people under me. If I say, no, I'll give up those first 3 that I was taking care of, and now we take up the, no, you have to take up those 3 more. You become a CEO, you're responsible for anything happening in the entire company. Anybody does anything wrong, and you'll be in the other end of the gun. So yeah, so it's more responsibility does not mean giving up people. Yeah. Okay, we are at 8:33. I don't want to hold you up any longer. But happy to discuss this more when we meet next. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.